Good morning, everybody. I wanted to make a quick video sharing a couple of things that I have experienced and discovered along my healing journey that I have experienced and discovered. Okay, so a couple of videos back, I made a video talking about how I was dealing with like Alzheimer's, brain fog, fatigue, just a whole mess of issues. And I thought it was related to my tooth here. It I don't want to go like really deep into it, but this teeth has been on it's like almost fallen out. I got it to go back in with mustard seed oil and salt, but the infection was still really bad, and it's just caused problems. And I thought that was the reason that I needed to get it pulled. Made several appointments to get pulled, never got it pulled. Canceled everyone. I can't get it pulled. And at the moment, it's not causing me any problems. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is that I recently bought it's the QI. I don't even know how to pronounce it now. Now that I'm recording myself, I forgot how to pronounce it. Chai coil, one of these. Says it right there. So I have been hearing and reading about rife frequencies for quite some time now. When I was working at the local health food store, some guy came in one day and was like, "We don't have our rife coil frequency or rife frequency device, so we need it right now." And he was telling me, oh, how these frequencies can like do all these different things for you. And I was like, that's really interesting. My mind was so far gone at that point that I looked into it for a little bit, but just for a little bit. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about in my video, so about 2-3 months ago, I had a shingles breakout on my buttocks, and I didn't even know I had shingles. I was really dealing with a lot at that time. I had broke down and taken some penicillin and some amoxicillin, which ended up causing me to have C. diff, which took me a month to get rid of that. But my immunity was like really weak, really whatever it needs to be for shingles to come out and make an appearance. But anyways, like I did some shingles research, and it says that the skin will kind of like have a light patch, like a raised light patch, and then over the next days it'll get darker, and then blisters will form on it, and it was painful, and it was itchy, and oh my gosh. So I was like, oh my gosh, I got shingles. So I looked into shingles. It is connected to chickenpox, which I did not know. I had chickenpox when I was like 4, 5, 6. I remember I was in like pre-K or kindergarten when I had it, and I thought that was it. And it's also a herpes, which I had no idea. So I decided to order this. I was really curious just to see what it could do. And so when I got it April 5th, and for about 2 to 3 days, I did the herpes, shingles, chickenpox list of frequencies that it has for it. And it's like in that spot where I broke out, and in my lip right here where I used to get fever blisters, like little breakouts, I very rarely ever got them, but it was always right here in the spot, and I never realized it, that the left side of my body is where the breakout happened. So it was on the left buttocks and the left side of my lip. And I was like, I know I'm losing thought. Hold on, let me stay. Let me work on staying. Okay, so I got the frequencies and I started them. And it's like I felt kind of like pinging all over, like itchiness, but mostly here and in the spot where I broke out. And I could just feel it. Like it's like it woke up. It was tingling, and that went on for a while. I guess about the second day of using the frequencies for the herpes, chickenpox, shingles, I started to break out right here in an itchy rash, and I still have. Like, that's not leaving. It's scabbing up, and I keep thinking it's gonna go away anytime, but it hasn't. So I broke out from like here to here and just itchiness. And then I was wondering, did I do it long enough? So I did it for like an extra day, and then I broke out on this side, yeah, with some itchiness, but mostly here. And I kind of wonder, since this is still there, if I need to go back in and do some more frequencies on it just to make sure that it's like not going to cause me any more problems. Yes, I'm staying on track here. I'm doing really good. I struggle with brain fog still to some extent, but it's not as bad as it was. So I thought that was really interesting. I was like, how many people like don't know that chickenpox and the shingles and the herpes, it's like one. I know there's other different herpes out there, but I didn't know that it was a herpes. So anyways, moving on. So without getting into too much detail, I used to have a really bad soda habit, like horrible. It was like 32-ounce drink in the morning and at night, and then I would have like my canned soda throughout the day. Like, there would be days I would never even drink water. I was on a mission to like destroy myself. Okay, so sodas contain bromine, and they compete for uh the receptor that iodine goes for. So I've been on this mission to like bring myself back to life, feeling good again, and I've been taking high dose iodine, literally drinking like 1/4 of the bottle sometimes because I just don't care anymore. And then there's this kelp. They both work really well, and I got desperate one day, and I was like, I drank like, I think I had like that much left, and you're only supposed to take like one drop. One drop is like 800 micrograms. But I was like, you know what? I don't care at this point. I don't care anymore. So I drank like that much with some water, and about 30 minutes to an hour, I was my brain just felt like it woke up. I just felt a little bit more clearer, a little bit more there, and I was like, okay, so iodine is part of the issue here. And then come to find out, bromine and iodine are like identical, and they go for the same receptor. So if you're not taking iodine in and you're taking bromine in, which is in sodas, it's in flour, pizza, cakes, bread, it's in clothing, your kids' clothing when it's like fire retardant, it's in your sheets, it's everywhere. I suspected a bromine issue there for a while, and I did what it suggested for detoxing bromine, but I think I was just so content. Thought I was needed. I was not. So I feel that I was just so contaminated, and not just from the bromine, just from like all the toxins that are around us. Because I was doing the detox, going through the detox list, and there's like aluminum, barium, you got your pesticides, you got your chemtrails, you got like all these options of detoxes that you can do. And I was just like, how toxic am I? You know, I've always heard if you have a toxic personality, you are a toxic person on the inside. Okay, so what I discovered or experienced, you know, whatever you want to call it. So I was doing the bromine frequencies on here. There's two different ones. There's bromine 81BR, and then there's bromine 79BR. So last night I was laying there and I was like, I'm just gonna see what this can do. So as I was doing the bromine frequencies, I started to itch right here. And it took about 10 minutes of doing the frequencies. And I don't remember if it was the 79 or 81. I want to say it was the 79 because that's the first option over the 81, and I noticed itching rather quickly, so I think it was the 79. Anyways, like if you can see that, I started itching. I'm like, oh, it must be there. Yeah, like I'm just breaking out. I'm like, all right, I guess I have some bromine there. So this morning I wake up and I'm itching it, I'm scratching it, and as I'm doing that, this might be really hard to see. Oh, right here. You can see it. 1, 2. Oh, maybe it's too bright. There we go. 1, 2, 3 came out of these right here. Like they're little hard pieces. I'm just going to take a moment. I'm just going to take a moment because I was like I'm scratching, and I'm like, okay, that came out, and I'm like, another one, that one came out, and I'm like, whoa, like I literally have this stuff lodged in me. So bromine not only goes into your thyroid, it also goes into your brain. I think it can go everywhere, but I know, I mean, if you're extremely toxic. It keeps sounding like someone's coming to the door. So like if you're toxic and like you're taking all these toxins in, you know, they got to find places to like settle in. And I read that it can also settle in your liver, but definitely your brain. And like that's got to be like the problem for why I just can't think, because since I've been doing the high dose iodine, and like I'm not just taking 1 or 2 of these today, I take like 2 every 3 hours. And you also have to take some like to help the iodine get to where the bromine is, because they compete for the same spot. Is you take in salt, like Redmond salt. I guess you would call it a full profile salt. I'm not sure, but Redmond salt. So it's called salt loading. I forgot that you were supposed to do that, and I was taking like these, and I was like not feeling very clear headed. I'm like, what's up? This must not be a very good brand. And then I started taking the salt with this, and it just really it really started to work, clearing up and thinking better. And yeah, I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I hope I'm not forgetting anything, because so many times I'll make a video and I think I covered everything, and then I'll be listening to it and it's like I missed something important. So I don't know how important this is, but I've been giving this to my kids. I mean, I drink sodas throughout my pregnancies, and my oldest son, he says he gets really he just doesn't think clearly, foggy brain. And I think, and my daughter, but Audrey, she complains about like just a lot of cramping during that time, and moody and tired. And then Liam is like highly emotional, and I wonder if it has to do anything, not with just my drinking sodas during the pregnancy. I mean, I doubt that helped, but he has gotten into like oil over here. My husband, you know, would do things with cars and have some like motor oil, and Liam would just get into it without my knowledge. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that stuff is soaking into your skin. I don't know exactly what's soaking into your skin, but I know it can't be good for you. And then we got Rosalind, who my last child, and if I was dealing with this bad during my pregnancy, I can only imagine how it affected her, because I noticed that not long after she was born, she would just kind of sit there, like she had like no life in her. So I started to buy herbal vitamins by Dr. Christopher, and I think it had iodine in it, and I noticed that when I gave it to her, she was like really like, she just started livening up. And on top of that, I give her omega-3s. So both of those really help. But I've noticed, I've been giving this to her a drop, 1 or 2 drops here and there for like 6 months. And there will go periods I don't give it to her, and I will notice that her speech, so she'll be like talking. And I'm going to use an example like, I want some milk. It'll be like, I want milk. Like, I want milk. Like, you could barely make out what she was saying. But if I give her this, she is talking full on sentences and having full on conversations. It's like, can I have some milk? I really want some milk. And I'm like, wow, that is quite the difference. However, they have put the fear into people about taking too much iodine and getting goiters. And actually, goiters are only caused from you really needing iodine if you take like natural iodine, sea kelp. I will not take. I have this one, and this is the one that I started off with. And I did notice some like mental clarity and some energy when I took it. And I was doing the salt loading, but I just was not doing for me what these two are doing for me. So I'm just going to finish that bottle out. I'm sticking with sea kelp. And if you want to, if you're like, I want to give my kids some sea kelp, they do have, it's Mary Ruth. I think she has some iodine for 250 micrograms that you could probably give. I mean, Rosalind's 2 years and 4 months, and I've given her up to 5 drops of this. And like, the only things that I've noticed with her is that it detoxing her body. She got like, her and Liam both got like runny noses afterwards, but they calmed down. Like, they were just so much calmer. They communicated better. They were more relaxed. And I was like, and Rosalind was taking more naps. Like, she was getting to the point I could not get her to take a nap in the day anymore. I'd given up on it. I started giving her that, and she started taking up to 2 naps in a day, mostly in the car. But I was like, wow, I noticed such an improvement. And I've been giving it to my oldest, and like when I gave it to him, like he was not in the best of spirits, or like he was just tired. He's been like really working hard and struggling and just trying to pull himself through his situations. And I gave him this, and he just perked up. And like his problems weren't that big of an issue anymore. He's like, oh, I got this. I started giving it to Dylan, and Dylan's like more perked up, more energetic. Audrey, like Thomas, everybody has just improved since I've started giving them sea kelp. I feel like I'm on a soapbox, but I feel like this is really, really important. And I've only been at it for like 4 or 5 days, and I'm noticing such an improvement. I'm not ever going to be without iodine. And yes, you can get the iodine salt, but I hear that like once you crack it open and start using it, you have to use it within at least like 2 months, or it's just no good anymore. And I just think iodine needs to come back. Like, it causes mental retardation. It has a negative impact on your endocrine system if you don't have iodine. Your thyroid. I mean, this is everything right here. This is where your hormones are made. Like, it's so important. Basically, if you're not getting it, you're kind of like dying. It's horrible. So, yes, that was my discovery. Use the frequencies. This is really interesting, guys. If you're thought about getting a Rife or whatever, this is the coil. Worth the investment. I want to get the big. They have really big ones. Like, I don't know how big that, but I just know that they're big, and they're the yin and they're the yang. I don't want them so bad. Goals, guys, goals. Yes. Okay, well, that is it. If you have any questions, I will do my best to answer. Okay, so I did forget something important. Iodine, sea kelp, is also antifungal. So therefore, if you got like yeast infections that you're dealing with, that'll help. It anti-cancer, antibacterial. So if you don't have enough iodine in your body, it can't go into your saliva and then go in your teeth and like start kicking like antibacteria, which prevents cavities. And iodine is really needed for your myelin. So I know I've been having a lot of myelin sheath issues, but I was doing like B1, omega 3s, vitamin D, you know, everything that was like, this can help. Lion's manes, reishi. And I was like I could never figure out like why was I not accomplishing it. And then I came across iodine. So iodine is just amazing. Okay, just wanted to throw that out there. If you're dealing with like constant yeast infections, you're dealing with like cavities, and you're like, I take good care of my teeth, why won't my teeth just like be nice? Probably because you need some iodine.